Good evening and welcome to the campus of UW-Whitewater. I'm your host, Sam Matheny, and alongside me is my co-host, Matt Bruzis. Joining us now is our special guest, Dominic Ottens. But first, we ask you to please excuse our momentary interruption of sports from your regular daily schedule. Guys, let's get right into it. This has been one of the weirdest seasons for Big Ten football. Teams like Wisconsin having to sit out games due to COVID-19, and teams like Minnesota, Iowa, and Michigan having down years too. Should Ohio State be punished for this odd season, or should they have a shot at the college football playoffs?
I think they should have a shot because I think that since the College Football Playoff Committee has not set a minimum requirement for the minimum amount of games to be entered into the playoff, I think that Ohio State has shown enough on the field that they should be one of the best four teams in the country. They've shown it because they were able to win the games, and they're able to have style points as well, which is a big criteria for the committee when ranking teams. And I just think that Justin Fields is too good of an athlete, and I think that Justin Fields is going to lead the team after the loss that they had last year in the College Football Playoff to Clemson. I think that Justin Fields and Ohio State will make sure that they win the next two games, win the Big Ten championship, and get into the playoff.
I'm going to have to agree with Matt on this one. I think that Ohio State is just too good of a football program right now, and I don't think that they should be punished for anything that has to do with the shortcomings of the other programs. I mean, Wisconsin having COVID problems, yes, but that's nothing to do with Ohio State. Michigan's having a down year. Who knows if Jim Harbaugh is going to have a job coming into next season. It's just a little bit of an off year for the Big Ten overall, but Ohio State is still winning games, like Matt said, and I don't think you can punish them for that. They're still too good of a program to not make the college football playoff.
Absolutely, you can punish them for that. It's called not letting them go to the playoffs. They played 4 games, guys. This is ridiculous that you even think that they deserve to even have a remote chance to get into the college football playoff. Literally, they have no chance because of the games and the amount of games they've played. They've only played 4, and somehow they're ranked above teams like Texas A&M and Florida and Clemson, who only has 1 loss. So I don't even know what you guys are talking about, to be honest.
Okay, but Sam, how do you see the SEC playing out? Because if the SEC plays out the way that it would in favor of Ohio State, which is in the realm possible, they could get into the college football playoff.
Well, this is how I think it's going to play out. I think Florida's going to beat Alabama in the SEC championship for the first time since Tim Tebow was there. And I think that's going to happen, and then both teams will be into the college football playoff. That's what I think, honestly.
Yeah, but I also think that since there's 2 teams in the ACC, one of them is going to get knocked out.
Yeah, and that's going to be Clemson, because Clemson, they're going to lose to Notre Dame in the ACC championship.
I think that both teams in the ACC championship game have made their point of still being one of the top 4 programs in the country. I mean, Clemson being the defender of the national title, and Notre Dame coming in and giving them a run for their money earlier in the season. Bama's still Bama, unfortunately, but I think you're really undermining the value that the Big Ten has. I think top to bottom, the Big Ten is the best conference in football. I mean, even the Rutgers got a win for the first time in conference play, I should say, this season, and this is, again, it's just been a weird season. But top to bottom, there's too much talent to just ignore the Big Ten overall and not have Ohio State get in.
You know what, Dom? We'll save that for another time. But next up, we will have the NFC East, and we'll talk about them. We'll be right back. Please excuse this commercial break.
Warhawks know what it takes to become champions. At the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, our student athletes pursue excellence with a determination that inspires everyone on campus. Warhawks are smart. Warhawks are strong. Warhawks value service. We prepare our student athletes for life after college. The University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Come be part of the Warhawk family.
As an Army ROTC cadet at Whitewater, you have the opportunity to develop into a great leader while learning and applying the Army values to your everyday life. Within ROTC, you have the chance to travel overseas in the CULP program to train with other militaries, attend many elite Army schools such as Airborne and Combat Diver, and you have the opportunity to attend conferences and guest lectures by some of the Army's top-ranking officers. Our Warhawk cadets participate in many extracurricular activities, Division III sports, Greek life, intramural sports, among many other team-building and community service events. Being a cadet at Whitewater is more than just being part of the Army. It's also about being active members in our community and coming together to form a family atmosphere. Anyone who wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves while developing themselves professionally should consider UW-Whitewater ROTC. To sign up for UW-Whitewater ROTC, Go to the 4th floor of McCutcheon Hall to room 417.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this quarantine edition of Inside Warhawk Football. I'm your host, Sammy Huggins, and alongside me is head football coach Kevin Bowles. Coach, how are you doing today?
Fantastic, Sammy.
So, as it is an honor to go into the playoffs, generally the third round in December, looking back 1 year ago today, this upcoming weekend, you beat the second seed Mary Hardin Baylor. Looking back at it now, is it hard to reflect on with everything going on? Or do you have like fond memories of it now? Or have you had any time to really reflect on it at all?
You constantly reflect on it in this sense, in the sense of learning, in the sense of what did we do in preparation that week? Because that's really what it is. It's not so much the game of the Mary Hardin Baylor game, not a question. I mean, the games are our test day, as you and I have talked about before. And what it's telling you, did you prepare in a manner that you needed to be successful on test day?
So as this is usually generally the winding down period for most football teams if you didn't get into the playoffs like the Warhawks did last year, but generally especially at this time as it is an unconventional season due to the fact that we're not in the fall but in the spring that's most likely to happen, most teams are winding down with their practices and their drills. Are the Warhawks winding down, or are you guys continuing to practice and work out, or what is the team doing going forward?
Sure, it's been a fantastic fall for us in the sense of a training aspect and preparation in the sense of our first 4 weeks, as we've talked about. We really worked in pods in a very safe manner. In the next 4 weeks, again, we evolved with our training and went into some practice modes, but again, very safe and controlled settings. Now we're back into really kind of back into that pod training aspect of continuing to prepare ourselves for a season.
As this wasn't a conventional season, we still were able to talk about, Warhawk football and football in general. And I and UWW-TV sincerely thank you for taking the time to come and talk to me and answer the questions that we had and do this show in general. So thank you, Coach Bowles.
Sammy, thank you to you and your the staff and the crew at UWW-TV. It's always a pleasure. I always look forward to this and look forward to our next opportunity to being together.
That was the quarantine edition of Inside Warhawk Football on UWW-TV.
Welcome back to Please Excuse Our Momentary Interruption of Sports from Your Regular Daily Schedule. Once one of the most dominant divisions in football, the NFC East has shown this year to be one of the worst we have ever seen. The New York Giants are currently leading the division at 4-7. With teams with better records not making the playoffs, should the NFL change to an NBA-style playoff and let those teams gather in?
I think this is an idea that has been thrown around almost any time this happens. Granted, this hasn't been a regular occurrence, but this is just one of the unfortunate things that comes with this type of play style. I don't think it should be changed. I think this is one of the great things that the divisions is one of the great things about football, that you have these different rivalries like the Packers and the Bears that just played this past weekend. This is what really defines football, is being able to play these teams in your divisions. And if you take that away, if you just simply put the best teams in, I think you lose a little bit of that rivalry aspect. And the fans, I'm not sure how they would react to that. But overall, I don't think you can change it. It's too late, and it's too late in football overall to just be able to try a new format like this.
I would have to disagree with you, Dominic, a little bit in the sense that I think that this division is because we've only seen this one out of how many times before this, twice before this, because I think this is just so bad, that the NFC is so bad, the teams are so bad that we have to change it because of this going forward. There could be a lot of teams going forward that are like the Eagles, like the Giants, like the Washington football team, that are 4-7 right now and are barely squeaking by. We see that these teams are not performing well, and we could have better playoff games with better teams in the playoffs.
They shouldn't change this for a multitude of reasons. And the one I want to touch on is, in the history of the NFL, there's only been 4 teams who have made the playoffs with a losing record. And that's crazy because that's just how the NFL's set up. If you think it's unfair that these division opponents don't get to get in the playoffs just because their record is better than someone who won their division, that's football, baby. That's how it started.
I mean, another unfortunate thing with this format, but also one of the great things that come out of it is that the AFC North is one of the powerhouse conferences, or I should say divisions, and they have 3 possible teams that are making the playoff push right now for the lead in the division. And so I think that's what kind of like amplifies the pressure a little bit, is that you have these great teams that are all trying to make this push, and they're all trying to compete for the spot, whereas the downside of this is that you have these really bad teams in the NFC East that that they're probably not going to make it out of the first round. But I think that this adds to the competitive level of football.
I think there still would be rivalries, and I think there still would be divisions like the NBA has, and I think that the NFL would do justice by having better first-round matchups. And I think that the NFL could benefit from that. And I think that since they're going to a 17 playoff now, I think they're right on the cusp of changing it, and I think that they should.
But if you have better first round matchups, that means you take the 1 seed versus the 2 seed, and that doesn't make sense at all, Matt. If you have the 1 seed versus the 8 seed, that's obviously the better matchup because the teams who won their division and are first and second in the league deserve it.
Yeah, but I also think that there could be an upset, and then we're not seeing the full potential of that team. And so I think that if we're getting that game right away, we can see that matchup that we've all wanted to see, the attractive game, the game that everyone wants to see, not the game of the Eagles against the Buccaneers.
I think we all can agree that Roger Goodell, with his history in the NFL, none of that's going to change. Next up, we're going to discuss college basketball rankings. After that, we'll discuss our predictions for the week. We'll see you after the break.
Here at UW Intramural Sports, we have a motto: a sport for everyone and everyone in a sport.
Come on! That's it anyways. Oh, she got that off. They're going to count it.
Had a blast. Always have fun at intramurals.
Every day we strive to go above and beyond that goal by providing healthy exercise, promoting leisure education, and giving students that competitive atmosphere they are looking for.
Yes! Yes!
It's exciting. Brings me back to those high school days with Friday Night Lights.
With our 25 different intramural sports offered, we guarantee that we have a sport for you. Go to our website and find your sport today.
The UC can get you connected to all your basic needs. Grab a coffee and a meal. Study by the fireplace. Bowl, play, and relax when you want a break from homework. The UC has much more to offer to Whitewater students. Go to the UC's website to see what's going on this week.
UWW-TV has been an important part of the campus and community since 1980.
Not only providing on-air learning opportunities for broadcast journalists and electronic media production students,
but educating and entertaining our audiences with award-winning news, live sports coverage, original programming,
as well as dedicating the mission to developing creative collaborations throughout campus.
For more information, visit our website, our 24/7 stream, and like us on Facebook.
Check us out because you gotta see what's on UWW-TV.
Hello, I'm Kim Reinders, and this is your UWW-TV Sports Update. The Green Bay Packers defeated the Chicago Bears on Sunday 41-25 to move to 8-3 on the season. Packers are now 3 games ahead of the Bears for first place in the division with a Sunday afternoon matchup next week against the Eagles at Lambeau. The Minnesota Vikings had a comeback victory over the Carolina Panthers 28-27. The 5-6 Vikings will play the Jacksonville Jaguars at home on Sunday. The Detroit Lions are coming off a 41-25 loss to the Houston Texans on Thanksgiving and will play in Chicago on Sunday at noon. The Lions are now in last place in the division at 4-7. And we'll have more sports coming up after this. Indiana Hoosiers starting quarterback Michael Penix Jr. suffered a season-ending torn ACL injury in Saturday's 27-11 win against Maryland. Jack Tuttle will start at quarterback this weekend when Indiana visits Wisconsin. Northwestern Wildcats suffered their first loss of the season in upset fashion against unranked Michigan State on Saturday by a score of 29-20. The 5-1 Wildcats will look to rebound when they face Illinois at home on December 12th. The Ohio State Buckeyes will look to get back to the field Saturday against Michigan State after last week's game versus Illinois was canceled due to COVID-19. The Buckeyes are 4-0 and need to win the next 2 games to be eligible for the Big Ten championship game. If not, it's likely 5-1 Indiana will play in the championship game instead of Ohio State because of win percentage. For more updates, stay tuned to UWW-TV. Check us out at uwwtv.org or tune into our 24-hour stream at uwwtv.housing.uww.edu. I'm Kim Reinders, and this has been your sports update on UWW-TV.
Welcome back to Please Excuse Our Momentary Interruption of Sports from your regular daily schedule. College basketball has finally resumed after coming to an abrupt end last season. Gonzaga is currently sitting on top of the rankings, followed by Baylor and then Villanova. While powerhouse teams like Kentucky are ranked 10th in the country, are these non-Power 5 conference teams like Gonzaga ranked too high?
I don't think so, and I think Gonzaga is perfect as the #1 team because they have returning starters and they have preseason All-Americans that are on their team. Mark Few has done a great job at Gonzaga, leading this team to be furious on the defensive end and be able to shoot the 3 at a 30% clip. They beat Auburn 90-67 this past week, and they looked dominant in that, and they showed everyone why they are the #1 team in the country.
I would have to agree to Matt to a certain degree. I think that one of the great things about college basketball and March Madness is that you have these non-Power 5 conference teams come up and be able to make a difference, that they can play with these bigger teams and bigger programs and still make a difference. Now, right now, I do think that Gonzaga has earned that #1 spot with Kentucky and other top 10 teams losing this past weekend. But I don't think they're going to hold it. I think it's something that Gonzaga is going to hold for just a little while longer, but then they're going to let it slip through their fingers. They're still going to get a good seeds come March, but I don't think that they're the program that people continue to build them up to be.
We're talking about Gonzaga, a team that's made the conference, or that have made the Sweet 16 the last 5 tournaments combined. But the thing that really drives me is, they just play well as a team. Their coach is good. They have length, they have strength, they have power. But in my opinion, the biggest thing is that they don't produce NBA players. The last player I remember even doing good was Kelly Olynyk, and what did he do in the NBA? But they also play in a wimpy conference, so that's why I think that they're not deserving to be #1.
I think that, to your point, Sam, I think that you have to look at them at how they beat these other teams in their conference. They are blowing them out, and they're also scheduling teams that are in the top 25. They have arguably one of the toughest schedules in the country, and I think that they're going to prove it because they play teams that are ranked, and I think that they prove it in the way that they beat teams.
That's true, but the reason that they are beating these teams is because they pound the ball inside. It's not like they're shooting threes and getting open looks from the corner or from the wings. I think that's the reason why Gonzaga doesn't deserve to be #1, is because they don't have a three-point game. Next up, we'll have our predictions for the biggest games of the week. We'll be back after the break.
What does it mean to be a Warhawk?
It means allowing myself to dream big and think outside the box.
Pushing the limits of what I think is possible.
Seeing ideas through from start to finish.
Collaborating with professors and peers.
And seizing opportunities in the community to put my knowledge to use.
I'm studying abroad.
Learning another language.
And listening to the stories of others.
I'm making lifelong friends and fearlessly sharing my gifts with the world.
As a Warhawk, I stay balanced.
Take great care of myself.
And get out of my comfort zone.
I refuse to let the past determine my future.
And I'm taking confident steps in the direction of my dreams.
Sometimes it doesn't make sense.
And other times it couldn't be more exciting.
But I will keep my goals in mind and never quit.
Because
that's the Warhawk way.
Turn us
us on. Flip them off. 91.7 WSUW. 91.7 is a student-run radio station serving the Whitewater area with a variety of original programs, live sports broadcasting, community events, and more. So turn us on 91.7 FM or stream us live at 917theedge.com.
It has been taking away our potential for decades, but since 2009, campuses nationwide are becoming tobacco-free. Tobacco has been eliminated from bars, restaurants, and many other public places. Why should our schools be any different? For more information, visit the Ambrose Health Center.
UW Whitewater Athletics, a relentless pursuit of excellence across 22 sports, powered by a tradition of success. 20 national championships, 17 since 2002. 61 individual national titles. 24 National Athletes of the Year. 616 All-Americans. 115 Conference Scholar Athletes of the Year. 1,500 community service hours annually. Be a part of the tradition and join the Warhawk family.
Welcome to the University Bookstore. The University Bookstore provides students with the opportunity to purchase apparel, gift items, textbooks, snacks, supplies, and other necessities right here on campus. The bookstore is also home to textbook rental, where you can find many of your required textbooks. Our friendly staff always goes the extra mile to provide customers with a quick and pleasant experience. Visit the bookstore today to find great deals on everything you need to succeed as a Warhawk.
For the national championship, like we just talked about in college basketball. Number 1 Gonzaga takes on number 2 Baylor. Who do you guys think will win this game?
I think I got Gonzaga. They're just too out of a program right now. Again, like I said in the last segment, it's going to be something that they're not going to hold on to for a while, but Baylor just doesn't have a team to stack up.
I agree with you, Dominic. I think Gonzaga is going to get it done. I think that they're able to shoot the 3 ball consistently. They're able to play defense well. I don't think Baylor's got enough offensive firepower to keep up with Gonzaga. I'm going to go to take the Bulldogs as well.
That's a lie. No. Baylor obviously knows how to score better than Gonzaga, in my opinion. I think they can score inside and outside, and the first time I'm ever going to say this, go Bears. The Wisconsin Badgers take on Indiana Hoosiers in a marquee football matchup. Who has the edge in this one?
I think the Badgers are going to have a little bit of an edge in this one. Graham Mertz ate a slice of humble pie the last time the Badgers were on an outing. Plus, they didn't get the chance to have the rivalry game against Minnesota and play for the Yaks. So I think the Badgers overall as a team are pretty hungry. And Indiana, I should say, has lost their starting quarterback. So I think the favor goes to the Badgers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to have to go with the Badgers, too. I think that defense is playing really well. They stacked up to Northwestern pretty well on the defensive side of the ball. I think Graham Mertz will play a great game, and I think that the defense is able to get to Jack Tuttle, the backup quarterback for Indiana. I'm going to go with the Badgers.
All bias aside, I'm going to go with the Hoosiers on this one, and that's because the Badgers' last game against Northwestern, they had 17 possessions and only scored once, and I think that's going to be the marquee thing to look for in this next game, and that's why I have the Hoosiers winning. And down in San Francisco, the Buffalo Bills take their talents out to the 49ers stadium. Who do you guys think will have the edge in this matchup?
I will say that last week with the 49ers, they did have an impressive win over LA. Kyle Shanahan just has Sean McVay's number, but I think that was a little bit of a fluke. Buffalo's still making that playoff push. Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Bills as well. I think their defense came up. They're now, for real, they did a pretty good job containing Justin Herbert, and I think Josh Allen gets back on track in a good game. One thing to note here, this game will be played in Arizona because Santa Clara has prohibited all contact sports for the foreseeable future.
I agree. I think the Bills will take out the W. That'll do it for us here tonight. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time to hear more hot takes all around the world of sports. This has been Please Excuse Our Momentary Interruption of Sports from your regular daily schedule on UWW-TV.